Alrighty, mate. So let's talk about a very common swing fault of swinging over the top. We see a lot of players struggle with this, and you'll be able to see the right shoulder throw out, the pitch of the shaft start to get more vertical, and then down at impact, guess what? The hips are back, and they're usually even sometimes falling over, aren't they?
Oh yeah,
big time. So we've got a fancy bit of rope, high-tech training equipment here, mate.
Expensive.
Let's talk about the importance of this training aid and how it can help players who are swinging over the top.
Yeah, so this is what I use for a lot of it. Kerrod, let me give it to you. I'll just show you how it works.
Okay, perfect.
What I want you to do is just start swinging it over your shoulder, and I like to do is not tell you how at first. Just keep going straight. You're going straight.
Okay.
And I want you to swing one way to the left now, and then way to the right. Like you have to get as far over those trees as you can.
All right.
And then I just want you to go back and forth now, left to right. And I want you to start focusing on what is the key that's allowing you to do that.
Okay, so
feel it in your pelvis.
Yeah, straight away what I feel is, like, number one, intent obviously helps a lot.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting when you say, let's say go to the right, I can feel how my pressure in my body and my hips specifically are moving to then guide that rope. And we see the over the toppers are so upper body dominant, aren't they?
Yeah, huge.
So let's say I am an over the topper and I'm getting this.
Yeah.
I can also feel that the rope is moving around and kind of hitting me here rather than over the shoulder.
Yeah.
So when you give an over the top swinger this exercise, you're getting them to pretty much do the opposite and the extremes of both, correct?
Yeah.
And then how do you build upon that?
Well, so I want them to feel exactly what they're doing with that rope, so that maybe the bad left one, and then we do the ones to the right. And once they're able to identify what they feel is what's making it happen, which is usually like what you said, the ground and the hips, then they're able to reproduce that with a golf club in their hands. So I'll switch from that to a golf club and say, reproduce that and see if you can, trying to swing way to the right and see if you can get that same feeling, then give me one to the left. And all I'm trying to do is get them to focus on this section here and how this is kind of controlling the path. So we kind of call this as the engine of our golf swing, so that's kind of the way I look at it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, I think that's great. And having little reference points, so for example, if I try and really exaggerate this almost to the point where I feel like I'm going to hit
that's what you should do
out there, we can see if I stop in this position, a few checkpoints here, guys. You can see that my belt buckle here is the apex of my body. I feel very tall and extended. I feel like the weight is on the outstep of my front foot, and I feel extended through the chest, so very tall and powerful. If I do the opposite and I swing very far left, all of a sudden my chest feels down, my hips feel back, I feel cramped. It does not feel powerful at all. And using this rope, I think, is just wonderful because we naturally are going to swing it a little bit more in rhythm, aren't we?
Oh, huge. I think dispelling the myth of so many people see Rory or whatever, and they get here and they go, oh, I got to clear my hips more. And they don't get that that's spinning out versus doing, this is going to give you the actual correct feel of using your hips the correct way, which is kind of powerful versus this way of spinning out. That's not what Rory does.
Correct. And look, guys, there is a certain sequence of the golf swing. The body, the arms, and the club need to move in such a way that is powerful but also in balance. Now, it's very difficult in the 0.25 of a second in the downswing to think about that. But drills such as this, especially if you have a specific swing issue that you're trying to rectify, such as the over the top, well, this simply just helps bring awareness, gives you sensational feedback and feel of what it would be like to do the extra pattern. Now, just for the guys at home, I think there's one thing that we should talk about a lot here, Erik, is the intention behind swinging the rope, because there's no point standing here and just doing this, right?
Right.
We need to get into our golf posture, don't we?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So when you've got this length of rope, and how long is this specific? It's about the length of a 7-iron or an 8-iron? Or
it's about, well, it should be about 6.5, 7 feet. It's kind of what you want to do. And, I got to give credit to Dr. Kwon for this, and that's his measurements, and it's 3/4 inch braided nylon is what he wants you to use for weight.
Okay, it's marine rope or something similar, isn't it?
It is pretty close to that, So it's just that 3/4 inch double braided nylon you'll find at any Home Depot or Lowe's or stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're around the world and using the metric system, just type that into Google and you'll get the the other measurement out there.
We're in there.
All right, so swinging out to the right, getting that pelvis feeling really far out there.
Very nice.
Having the intention that I'm imagining that I would be hitting a golf ball off the ground there.
Beautiful.
And if we do this in slow motion, I'll put myself doing this on the right hand side, you'll see the direction of that rope as it moves there, guys. Okay, so pass me back that club. So you'd suggest the players that you're working on this with here, Eric, you'd get them to do the rope exercise a few times, then
this.
put the golf club in their hands relatively quickly and get them...
Yeah, I almost want to do them right after it and get them to try to reproduce that. And if they can't do it on the next swing, we're grabbing the rope again.
I'll tell you what, this feels very weird.
You're probably going to have a 14 path out to the right.
Rubbing it, yeah. And I've actually done this a lot. Dr. Kwon is kind of the guy that brought the rope into popularity. We'll put some clips up of that actually in here as well. So as I do that feel, now it just almost really enhances that timing sensation that a lot of players are looking for. Okay, mate, so I've got that sensation. Let me step in here. Off we go.
Beautiful.